Hi everyone, welcome to the Idaho Authors Showcase. My name is Janet Ravenscraft and I will be your host today. This show will be about authors and their stories. We'll find out about why they write and why this book. And then how they write. Do they use a computer, a laptop? Are they longhand? Are they recording? When they write. Are they writing daily? Do they set a time? Maybe it's the middle of the night. And what they write. Is it fiction or nonfiction? Do they like romance or sci-fi? Motivational or is it scary? Thank you all for joining us today. Now get a cup of something, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Welcome to the Idaho Authors Showcase. I'm your host, Janet Ravenscraft, and I thank you all for being here today. Our guest today is Danielle Parker. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I know. So Danielle has written the book Pure of Heart, and this is actually book one of a series. So tell us about it. Tell us why you wrote this book.
Well, I actually wrote it on a dare, which is the best thing to tell people when they ask you. Like, why did you write this book? Someone dared me to. It's urban fantasy. I took the Irish version of the werewolf myth, the Fuela.
Fuela.
Yeah. And it's not pronounced like it's spelled. I
was going to say, yeah. I kind of looked at that and I asked, it's like, what is that?
Most people are like, Feo lad? And I'm like, no.
Fuela.
But I liked, it ties into a bit about me because I'm Irish, so I liked that, and the myth is really different. They're not the bloodthirsty European horror movie version of a werewolf. They're protectors and defenders, and I really, really liked that idea for this poor werewolf.
They're just misunderstood.
They're misunderstood.
It's not their fault.
That's what it's about, basically. It's a very unhappy werewolf who's trying not to be a werewolf.
Well, and your werewolf is a female.
Yes.
So do you relate to your werewolf? Would you and what's her name? Harper? I should know that because that's my my maiden name is Harper. Yeah. So. But Harper, so would you and Harper be friends in real life?
Probably not. Probably not. We have
too much alike.
We have different versions of sarcasm. Right? I am very sarcastic, but she's a different version of sarcastic. She's a little meaner, so I don't think we would get along very well because she'd say something and I'd be like, all right, that's it. Gloves are coming off. Come on, let's go.
Let's go. So she does have a little bit of you there.
Every character in this book, I have a little bit of something in me that I kind of see in them.
I was going to say, I've heard that from other authors that you basically write about, because as you're creating your characters, you have to take a combination of people, and when you're thinking of that, or you get some kind of inspiration, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you pull. I've pulled from past experiences in my own life, and there's little bits of people that I've met throughout my life that are kind of interspersed throughout there. There's been a couple moments where Cooper, Harper's cousin, would do something, and I'd go, "Oh, that is so Bryson,"
or
so Bryson, and then thankfully, Bryson will never get that, but
that part of it. I was thinking about that when you write or when you're reading about that, that if you had I'm assuming if you had an enemy or somebody you really don't like, some of that characteristics go into the villain or the not so nice person in there.
The best thing that I've ever heard, I was down at LTUE in February, and there was another author there. And he said, look, you better be nice or I'll put you in my book and I'll let you live. Right? And I was like, no.
Don't do it.
No, that's a bad idea.
So tell us what LT...
Life, the Universe, and Everything Conference. It's held annually in Provo, Utah. And it's this giant writers conference in a hotel down there. And there's classes and there's a dealer room where you can sell your books and...
Was that the first time you'd gone, or?
Yep.
Will you go back?
Yep.
So met some interesting authors, and
that was the best part. I mean, I like going to classes. I like learning stuff, but at the same time, like networking and getting to hang out with other writers was so amazing. And they're so funny, and I was like, my people,
my tribe. I found my tribe.
Yeah.
So when you write, what is your preferred method? Do you write every day? Do you have to do so many words?
I have a writing schedule.
Oh, okay.
Because I have multiple projects, so I break it out day of the week.
Okay.
And then whatever the project of the day is, I can't go to bed until I have at least 2K done.
Okay.
On that one project. It doesn't matter what chapter, it doesn't matter, just 2K, that project. That way everything kind of continues to get done and I don't get, because I get distracted. And I don't, right?
By what?
Right? I don't want to be sitting there, I need to work on this. And instead of going, but I really want to work on that. And then nothing gets done.
Well, and especially when you work from home, that's what I found. I can find a million things to do except the thing that I want to be working on, or the thing I should be working on. It's like, okay, come on now, stop. And then I'll go, no, you got to write one more, or you got to finish this, or yeah.
YouTube and Netflix are my kryptonite. I can't. I thought I could.
Kryptonite, I like that.
I was like, can I watch the Food Network while I'm trying to work on this book?
Nope, can't do both. I can have, I'll put music on because music for me, I don't really hear it. And I have tinnitus, and so I have that ringing in my ear all the time. And so for me, I need the distraction. Otherwise, all I hear is ringing.
All you hear is ringing.
So I'm used to always having music on in the background.
Yeah, I have playlists for each project. I'm a musician, so I have to.
That's your day job.
I have to have music going, and a lot of people, a lot of my writing friends are really confused by that because they can't write with music going.
And I've had people tell me the same thing, and I'm better with it. I mean, it's not loud and I'm not singing along, but it's in the background, and it just kind of sets
It's atmosphere.
There you go. It's
atmosphere.
It's my white noise, I call it. So
yes, yeah.
On that side of it. So do you are you a longhand? Do you use your computer? Do you record?
I use my computer.
Okay.
All three of them.
All three of them. So tablet.
I have one laptop here, and then a desktop over here. Oh. And then I have a program that lets me use my mouse and keyboard on all of them at once.
Oh. And so are you like working 3 chapters at a time or 3 sections? Or
what I like to do...
As you're writing...
I call it the epic rewrite.
Okay.
So I'll write a draft, and then it's a draft, and I don't like it. So I'll put it up on one monitor, and then I'll open a blank document in the other, and I will rewrite it word for word, line for line. In the new document. And so you have to have multiple monitors to kind of keep that going. That. So one's got music going on it, and the other one's got that on it, and then I'm typing on this one.
And that works for you, obviously.
Yeah.
So how many processes did you go through to get to that, to figure that out for yourself?
I've always done that.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know where it comes from. All I know is you have the draft here and the new document here, and off you go.
And that's one thing that's been interesting for me is to learn how all the different authors write, because it really is a process and everybody has to create it for themselves. And so, some are longhand, that everything has to be longhand, and then till they get to the point. One of the authors was talking about recording, and she said she found that for the last couple chapters. She goes, but it just took so much more editing because when you use a computer, you kind of edit as you go along. And I know I do that. And my handwriting's awful, so that's my big writing. I thought I'd be a longhander. No, I tried.
I get it. I have a notepad by my bed, so if I have an idea in the middle of the night, I can write it down. I can't read any of those. Oh. You roll over in the middle of the night, and you're like, and then you look at it.
What was that?
What? It just looks like smudge.
That and dreams. I mean, if I don't catch them and think about it before I actually get out of bed, they're gone.
Yeah, they're immediately. You think you'll remember it. You're like, don't forget that. What was I thinking? Oh no!
I know that. So, you've been writing for a long time, or have you always wanted to write? Was that something you started as a young child? Or
I should have brought it. I have a back in the olden days.
In the olden days,
when no one thought it would be dangerous to do so, my school interviewed the kids in my kindergarten class. Okay, I have a newspaper cutout of little 5-year-old me, and they interviewed me. Oh. What's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? What do you want to be when you grow up? That sort of thing. And it's right there in print. I want to be a writer.
Oh, so you knew at 5 you wanted to be a writer.
I wanted to write.
Right.
And then it took a few years.
So did your parents read to you? Were you a reader at that point that you decided I like stories, or?
It's kind of a common. My father was a Marine. So he was overseas in Okinawa when I was little.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time with my grandparents.
All right.
And my grandfather read Louis L'Amour books like you would not believe.
Did he read them out loud to you?
No, but he was constantly reading them, like just sitting on the couch reading them. And so I always wanted to, sit next to him and read my little tiny kids' books that I got from school. And so it just kind of became this thing where we'd sit around in the house and we'd read. And
the two of you, that's great though. So
that's where that started, and then it went downhill from there.
Yeah. So you, at that young age, you obviously must have books that you wrote on paper, stapled together, and gave to the family, and read them at the family events, and yeah.
Yes, there's lots.
Do you still have any?
Yep.
Oh, see, I like that. I like that point. I like that thing that kids know that they started it. It felt good for them, and then they've kept them all those years.
They will never see the light of day.
Oh, you'll bring them out sometime. Yeah, just if nothing else, to take a picture of it on that side.
Post them online.
Well, we're gonna take a break, and we'll be back pretty soon. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the Idaho Authors Showcase, and my guest today is Danielle Parker.
Hi.
Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So let's go back and talk about Pure of Heart. Pure of Heart is book 1.
It is book 1.
So are you started book 2, 3? Do you?
I am in the middle of book 2.
Book 2.
I have outlines for 3 and 4.
Oh, so so you're thinking about that. Obviously, you knew it was a series when you started it, so.
It was not.
Oh!
It was not a series. My friend Jim Lambert, bless him, we were trying to come up with titles for it, and we were looking at the old werewolf poem that's in Wolfman, the original Wolfman movie. Even a man who is pure of heart, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm not going to quote the whole thing.
Okay,
but
you can. But
that's where we found the titles from.
Oh, Pure of Heart is
Prayers by Night, Wolfsbane, Autumn Moon. They're all in the poem. So that's why I was like, well, now I have to write 4 books, Jim.
Okay, so you already have your book titles for each one then. Oh, so that's interesting because some people, like one of my other authors, can't even name her book into the end because the name changes every time. So I thought, I knew the name of my book too before. Yeah, I wrote around the book because of that. So Pure of Heart is 1. What's 2?
Prayers by Night.
Prayers by Night.
Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane and
Autumn Moon.
And Autumn Moon. Cool deal.
The poem's gonna be in the front of the books, so you can smile at my genius.
I like the genius. So see, that works. So as you're writing, then you've already outlined it basically. You know where you're going and that type of thing. Because I always ask about that because is it just inspiration? You just let it flow. I'm
a plotter.
You're a plotter.
If I don't know where it's going, it's not happening.
It's not going to go there.
Nope.
It's not going to go anywhere.
And if I have an idea that's going to change the outline, I have to go in and change the outline. I can't just write it on the fly. Like, nope, how do I fit this in? Because there's a trickling effect, right? If you change something here, it's going to come down.
So are you also... do you have your outline for like 3 and 4 basically, so you know on that, so you've already gone through that portion of it, so when you write your 2K,
yes,
you're picking up on a spot or a part of your outline. Is that okay? That's great. Well, and that's what the readers need to hear. For those of you who are out there that are aspiring writers, or to listen and hearing how each one of these authors write, that's the whole purpose of this show, is to listen to other people's authors' stories and hear how they write. So hopefully that helps. And I like that. I like everybody, and I like to hear how everybody writes and why they write. And
it makes for good conversation for sure, and arguments.
Well, and that's my favorite part about this show, is that we hear the real true thing of how it does, and everybody can write differently. Everybody has a story, but everybody has a different way of doing it. So that's the part that makes it interesting.
You can't usually do other people's. styles.
People try,
either.
though.
I have tried, and I've had friends try mine before. They're like, "There's something wrong with you."
It works for you, though.
Right?
So in Pure of Heart, and I've been thinking about this question when I read books, and I read a lot, that part of it. But do you cast your character? Do you already know who's going to play Harper and your character? So who would that be? What actress would it be?
Well, originally it was Olivia Wilde.
Oh,
That was who we
okay.
thought, because she kind of has the facial features that I was thinking of when I was picturing Harper in my head. And then it evolves, which is really fun. There's a younger actress that I just discovered recently.
Yeah. Anyway, you
I saw her on TV and thought, oh, Alicia Debnam Carey. Yeah, she's on the 100. I watched like 2 episodes of it and hated it, but
You saw her.
I saw her and I was like,
going,
hey, Harper.
So when you were creating your book cover, so book covers become like this huge thing for people that, they're emotional. They have to say something to you as the author, but then you're having to try to get it so other people will look at it, because it is, when they say a book is judged by its cover, it's judged by its cover.
No, it's true.
It's totally true. So did you create this cover? How did you come about on your cover?
I grew up reading a series called Animorphs
Okay.
by K.A. Applegate, and I really liked the covers. It had people turning into animals on them.
I saw that.
Yeah, so I kind of wanted something similar to that, so I had a concept in mind. So when I contacted the book cover designer, I said, this is what I'm thinking. Here's the pictures that I found that I like. I went and found the girl.
I was just going to say, this is obviously
That was the closest I could come. Yeah, I
Mhm.
went and found her, and I sent her everything I had, and I was like, this is what I like. She sent back 3 different mock-ups, and I picked the one I wanted, and off she went.
That's awesome. So you worked with one graphic designer.
Yep.
And was it somebody you knew, somebody that referred to you? Was it online?
My editor, Troy Lambert, is the one that recommended my book cover designer, because
Is she
she
somebody
does-
here local?
She does
or-
his. Nope.
Nope. That's great though. But that's the whole thing, because I probably went through 5 graphic designers before,
Finding the
and
right one.
photographers before I could get somebody that could relate to what I was trying to.
It's really hard to express vision to someone if you don't have that communication figured out. But there's certain personalities, they just don't go together, and
Well, and
it's creative.
it's a hard process. I think it was harder to try to figure out the book cover than, to actually write the book for me. I think too, fiction and nonfiction, mine's fiction, so it's based on mine. So I was looking for something that resonated with me and my life. You're the same thing, I'm assuming, with the nonfiction. Is that? No, I've got it backwards.
The other way. I was gonna say anything. I was just gonna let it go.
That was awful. That's where it goes. This is live. This is how we do it. So, nonfiction.
Flip-flopping that.
Flip-flopping that thought. Nonfiction. So, for fiction, then you create that yourself, but it's still your image of what you want. I mean, you're still going to look for that, like you say, your character, whatever thought you're sticking with.
Well, I felt bad for poor Elle, because I knew what I wanted and I was going to get it. I was like, this is what I want. Do this one thing and we're good.
And we're good.
But fortunately, our personalities work together really well, and so the collaboration was really fun. I can't wait to see what she does with book 2.
book 2. So, like I said, you're already thinking of book 2.
I already know what I want on the cover, so it's just watching her like build this piece of art out of my scatterbrained ideas.
That's cool though. And like I said, you're fortunate to be I'm assuming you're grateful that process is easy and you have someone, and now you know who to work with.
Yes, yeah, it actually becomes really exciting, because now I'm like, I gotta finish the book so I can get to the fun part.
Well, and I actually did mine on Fiverr, so there is just hundreds of, I don't even know how many graphic artists are part of Fiverr, but I went through 4 of them till I found one I can work with. Now I go back to that same one. And each time I want something, I go back and go, okay, I need this now, or I need this. But the same thing, I have a relationship now. I built a relationship. Mm-hmm. So I think that's important. I think it makes sense, and I think that's what makes that process easier.
I call them part of my team. Like, I have a team.
I know. I have a team too.
So your book cover designer is in there, and you got your editor, and you got, it's all like one little team.
All like one little team.
My posse.
Posse. Tribe. I always call mine my tribe. So I'm on my tribe. So as you're writing, what is your inspiration on that? What do you have you said you read a book when you were a child. Are you a big reader? Do you have a favorite author?
I'm not a huge reader.
Okay.
I have some favorites that I will go back and revisit over and over and over again. Call the Wild is one of the first books I ever read that I will continue to read over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm more of a movie person, which is, I know, I'm going to get all kinds of crap for this.
No, because
I
books
just
are movies are usually by a book or based on a book or based on some type of theory. So
it's again, it's the way I was raised. Spending time with my family, we watched movies, and my father was very adamant that there were certain movies that his kids would see.
Oh, there you go.
So we grew up on a steady diet of John Wayne and Indiana Jones and Star Wars, Die Hard. We still watch Die Hard every Christmas.
I love
every
Die
Christmas.
Hard.
It's a
Bruce
Christmas
Willis?
movie.
It's a Christmas movie.
Okay, it's a Christmas movie. It's at Christmas.
It is. See, you can. It does. It's like a.
You can definitely see that too in my writing style. I think like the Bruce Willis influence, the Die Hard effect in my story writing, because I like that action adventure, and I like the plucky hero who's always cracks me up.
It does, and the thing is it makes it fun, because you're using those are basically influences that you had throughout your life. Part of your dad's in there because he's the one that said we're going to watch these movies.
You will watch this, and you will like it.
And whether you like it or not, we're going to watch it. So, family traditions are I think. The thing that makes it fun, and then as you go back, even though as a child they may not have been so fun, it's fun to go back, or you could at least relate to them, or you know where they came from.
I mean, I get super nostalgic about, like, Jaws scared me so bad when I was a kid. I was 7 when I watched that. It's one of my favorite movies now because it reminds me of my childhood.
Well, and you know when the music comes on exactly what's
Yeah.
Yeah, you get in the pool and somebody will start singing.
No.
And you're like looking in the water, going, "No, it's gonna come on." Well, I grew up on the ocean. And so I spent a lot of time in the beach and in my childhood. And so, we would get out there and then somebody would do that and we'd all look and then we'd all head into. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Thank you so much. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Idaho Author Showcase. I'm with Danielle Parker. We've been talking about her book, Pure of Heart. And so let's just kind of follow up on that. We've talked about the book, we've talked about your writing, how you go about it. So how do you feel about reviews? Do they bother you? Do you feel vulnerable? Have you ever questioned your writing ability?
Don't really, no. I like getting reviews. They make me excited, even if they're not 5-star reviews. I enjoy reading the critique and informs me on things that I can look at and continuing on. Like, if someone didn't like this part of the book, I'm like, okay, well, I can adjust that. You kind of have to take it with a grain of salt because it's one
and then
review,
do you want to adjust it? I mean,
sometimes
you're not
no.
I was just saying, you're not writing for everybody. You're writing for yourself, and this is your book, and it's your
I have
story.
an audience. I know who my audience is. So sometimes people are like, I really don't like that. And I'm like, well, okay.
That's okay. You don't have to.
You don't have to. I didn't write it for you.
Or how come you killed off so and so? It's like, well, because I killed, and I always laugh when they change it a book and they're going, oh no, you killed him off, and they try to bring him back. I mean, it's like, really, it's your story. So, but it's interesting because some people there is a vulnerability, and I know when I wrote mine, just that first, and mine's a story about me, so I think it makes it a little more personal, because it's my story. What are people going to think, and can she write? Why did she think she could? Those types of things. So
you're definitely out in the open and exposed, and you know, you created it. It's your baby, so it's obviously you're attached to it.
But yeah, that I was going to say, even for, you know, if it's just not a story where it's something you've created, the fiction part of it, it's still your story, and you have so much of your heart and soul in it.
I love these characters. Like, you know, they're my characters, but other people, my dad doesn't like my main character. He doesn't like Harper at all. He doesn't like her, and I'm like, okay. I didn't write it for you.
And I think that's a big part. So where do you see yourself in the next year? Where you're on book 2? Tell me the name again.
Prayers by Night.
Prayers by Night. So the process, are you planning on having it done by the end of the year? Is it going to be? It's
supposed to be out in September or October.
Okay.
We will release it on the full moon again.
Oh, I love that.
Right. It was really cool. Super blood moon eclipse was when this came out. So we're going to, aim for the full moon in either September or October. And then I'll start right away on the third one.
On the third book. So that's that process on there. And so when you think of that you again have your time set up of how you're going to do it, get it done, and there.
Well, and I've got other projects going, so you know there'll be different release dates throughout the year. I'm trying to build something this next year that will kind of take me through the next 10 years.
Oh, very perfect. So now we're kind of rolling up here. I want you to be able to have an opportunity to talk to the audience. Tell them what would be the one thing that you would recommend to new authors on writing, that are just thinking about writing or are just in the beginning processes. And then if you have any messages for your readers, this is your chance.
Well, I hate to be cliche, and I know it's a cliche, but if you want to be a writer, you need to write. I don't care what it is, what genre, journaling, just start writing things now. You're going to get a lot of experience that way. There's lots of different avenues to go down as far as posting or publishing. And it's important to kind of get all that out now. Find your author voice. And to people that are reading my book, the new one's coming soon, guys, I promise. And keep an eye on my Facebook and Tumblr page, because I will have spoilers out.
There you go. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. I've enjoyed our time together.
Thanks for having me.
I know, and so it's been lots of fun. And I'll look forward to book 2, and we'll do it.
Yay.
I want to thank my audience for joining us today. I hope you've enjoyed the show and got some information. And I look forward to our next show and hope you'll come back. Thank you so much.